Every human being has a mirror they avoid. Sometimes it's the one in their bathroom, sometimes it's a memory. Sometimes it's silence. But whatever form it takes, we all fear the same thing: seeing ourselves too clearly. We live in a world full of reflection, but very little self-recognition. We capture our faces every day in photos, in filters, in feeds, but rarely do we meet our own eyes. Because we know what happens when we do. The truth looks back, and the truth is heavy. This is SETHTRA Files, where we explore the mind behind the mask, and the mirror becomes the doorway to self-understanding. The mirror doesn't lie, but it does expose. It shows what makeup hides, what confidence conceals, what smiles try to erase. It shows the gap between who you've become and who you promised yourself you'd be. That gap, that small silent space between appearance and authenticity, is where most people lose themselves. They start living for what the world reflects instead of what their soul feels. We fear that mirror not because it shows our flaws, but because it shows our truth. It reveals how much of our personality was built for survival. How many of our choices came from fear, not desire? How much of our kindness was negotiation, not compassion? And if we're honest, we don't want to see that. We'd rather be distracted by everything else. So we stay busy. We chase success, approval, progress, noise. We decorate our prisons with comfort. We call it productivity, growth, ambition. But often, it's just avoidance. Psychologists call it self-avoidance, the human defense mechanism against painful truth. We run from our reflection by hiding in motion. Because as long as we're moving, we don't have to look. But stillness is where self-awareness lives. And self-awareness is the first step toward peace. That's why silence scares people more than chaos. Because in silence, the mind starts speaking, and it says things we've spent years avoiding. The mirror shows you the parts of yourself you abandoned to fit in. The friend you betrayed to feel accepted. The dreams you buried to seem practical. The emotions you numbed to stay strong. It reflects every version of you that never got closure. That's why facing yourself feels like dying, because you're watching identities collapse. Every illusion burns until only truth remains. But after that burning comes light. After that breaking comes freedom. You start to see that your reflection isn't accusing you. It's inviting you. It's saying, I've been waiting. Come home. The hardest part of healing is not changing. It's accepting how much time you've lost pretending. It's forgiving yourself for not knowing better. It's mourning the years you spent chasing a version of you that wasn't real. But once you face your reflection, the running stops. And when the running stops, life begins. You realize that self-knowledge doesn't destroy you. It rebuilds you from the inside out. It doesn't take away your power, it returns it. You stop judging yourself for your scars and start admiring yourself for surviving. You start seeing beauty in the truth even when the truth hurts. That's when the mirror transforms. It's no longer a prison, it's a teacher. It doesn't punish, it prepares. It doesn't mock, it mentors. Every time you face yourself with honesty, the mirror grows clearer and the mind grows lighter. You begin to love differently, not for approval, but for connection. You begin to speak differently, not to impress, but to express. You begin to live differently, not to be seen, but to be whole. The most dangerous lie is not the one you tell others. It's the one you tell yourself to avoid growth. Because every unspoken truth becomes a shadow that follows you. And every shadow that isn't faced eventually controls you. True freedom isn't the absence of pain, it's the absence of denial. It's the moment you look at your reflection and no longer flinch. It's when you stop editing your story and start reading it aloud, honestly, unapologetically. That's what it means to truly see yourself. This is SETHTRA Files, where we don't run from truth, we return to it. If these words stayed with you, subscribe, not to follow, but to find yourself again. Because one day, you'll look in the mirror and whisper, I remember now. I was never the mask. I was always the one beneath it. And that moment, that quiet recognition, is the beginning of peace.